Greetings and welcome to Growth Hacking Secrets. I'm your host Mohammed Siddique from Atlanta, Georgia, and the co-author of New Success Secrets available on Amazon. On this episode, we have a special guest, Randy Silver. Randy is the host of Leap of Faith podcast. Please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, Randy Silver.
Thank you so much, Mohammed. I appreciate you having me on today. I'm excited to talk to you and your audience.
Thank you so much. Randy, let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with that inspired you to start a Leap of Faith podcast?
So during quarantine, thank you for the question. It's great. I was watching CNN and they had a professional athlete on, Charles Barkley, talking about how everybody's life sucks without sports because obviously during quarantine, there was no sports.
Yeah.
I thought this was a very negative mindset, and I'm a very positive person. I wanted to tell stories of people who overcome adversity, have the right motivation, and achieve stuff in their daily life, and share those stories versus putting out this negativity that Charles Barkley was doing. So I got the idea, taught myself how to create a podcast using audio and video, built my own website, everything that goes with it, and launched it in May 2020. And here I am 9 months later, and it's been very, very successful.
Wonderful. So thank you, CNN.
Thank you, CNN. I appreciate it.
So you were working with the Cisco before when you were doing this already. So you are tell me little more about your Cisco professional job, so that way people get to know that hey, if he can do it, you can do it too.
Awesome, great. So at Cisco, I recently just left Cisco. So this is in the past, as Mohammed just said. I was a senior global manager. I led a team across 3 continents with people in 5 different cities, 25 people. We were running our small business global security team. So anything that was cybersecurity for Cisco, I had a big part in playing with, which is awesome. I'm 28. I live in San Diego. So you may be asking, how did I have such a high position so young? Tenacity. I really just made sure that I had the most passion. I was the biggest achiever in everything I did. When people saw my results and they saw the passion I had, they got behind me and they wanted to be their leader because they wanted to get the same results. So by me being a high performer, it led me the opportunities to manage people, made them high performers. So as I was, the team was doing well, I was doing well. They promoted me up more and more to try to enable more people to be successful.
Wonderful. Well, Randy, now you know why I asked this question. So I had this little, I'm curious person. So Randy, so based on your leading a global team experience at your past Cisco employment and your podcast host, what are the top 3 missteps to avoid when you want to excel to your career in a job or business, whatever is relevant to you?
Great. I think the 3 steps are, number 1 is passion. People want to work with someone or they want to be around someone who has the passion. We've been on calls before. Someone sounds dead. Oh, this is stupid. Like they're not feeling it. If you don't have that passion, people aren't going to be integrated and they're not going to want to work with you or going to want to work for you. So you really have that passion and show that you truly care. Number 2 is being genuine. People want to, again, in the same vein, they want to be around people who are just good people. And they know that if you're working with people every day, you're probably talking more than you talk to your family. I want to be around the right people. And when people are genuine and it comes across like that, people in your podcast are going to want to listen to you because they really see that you're able to, be there for them. And it's going to be relatable. When you're working with people who are genuine, they're going to listen to you because they know that you have their best interest at heart. So having that passion and being genuine, and this might be really, really simple, but asking for it. People don't know that you're interested in that job promotion. If you're interested in that business opportunity, if you're interested in them listening to your podcast, they're never going to do it. So you need to be vocal. And it's hard to talk about ourselves sometimes and ask people to do something, but you need to ask them, hey, what does it take for me to get to that next level for my job performance? What does it take for you to listen to my podcast? What do you need from me to be able to become a manager? What type of trainings do I need to take? What is success in your mind and how do I achieve that? By asking those questions, people will realize that you have the passion and you have the genuineness and you want to be there and succeed. And that is what is key.
So that's a great wisdom. Randy, is people don't even ask those questions.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised. Even many guests come on my show, they don't even ask for much.
Yeah. But I would say a real life example was within 3 days of me starting at Cisco, I went straight to my manager and I said, hey, I don't want to be a individual contributor. I want to be a manager. I want your job. Tell me what it would take for me that whenever you leave or things happen, you get promoted. that I can take your job? What do I need to do to get there? So I already was implementing that in my manager's head. A year down the line, when he left the company, I had already helped him do the job so much. There was no reason why they wouldn't give me the opportunity to run it full time.
Yeah. Just a follow up to that one. The manager was not scared enough after 3 days. What this new kid want to take over my job? What is this?
I mean, the way, again, I think it's all about the approach you do it. It's like, hey, his name was Nick. Nick, shout out if you ever listen to this. Like, Nick, you are an amazing manager. I want to learn from you. I know I'm really early in my career, but I want to be a manager. I would love to be manager of this team someday. Of course, I need to prove myself and do this job and do it well. But can you take me under your wing and have me mentor you? Or excuse me, can you mentor me so I can really learn the in and outs of what it takes to do the job and be a manager? And then you do those stretch assignments. And maybe you're not getting paid for stuff, but it'll pay dividends down the line 2, 3, 4 years when you're getting that next promotion that you want, or you're making more money because you've earned it.
That's a silver bullet.
Hey, that's my last name, Silver.
That's why I used it, Randy Silver.
There we go.
Yeah, great. However, even though you are successful, I would say were successful, you are successful. There was, I'm sure, when you tried so many things, there with a much higher speed, you had some kind of failure in that growth too, as well in a professional being a manager and leading teams. What was your single most professional failure that you like to share with us? What did you learn and how did you recover from that?
It's a great question. Of course, like nothing is Daisy Dukes and roses. So there have been some failures along the way. I would say probably the biggest failure was, HR issues that come along with management and managing people, especially when you're managing people younger in their career. There's a lot of different opportunities that people see and maybe they don't get them. And so they'll feel defeated. So I become more of like a therapist to people versus maybe, going over X's and O's. So an example is 2 people were going for the same position and one person didn't get it. That person ended up using foul mouth and cussing somebody out who got the position. And me as their manager, I then had to deal with the HR repercussions of 2 people fighting on the same business, on the same team.
Yeah.
I had to put them in different rooms. I had to bring in our HR representative. And I was really young in my career. And just because of HR issues, I can't go into the details of it, but it was a big learning lesson for me to understand how to mediate and moderate the situation without personal preferences, personal things like that coming into it. So it really took a lot from me. And I don't think I handled it the right way. HR gave me a lesson like, hey, this is what you could have done better here. This is how you could have prevented things like this happening. And from that moment on, I've really been successful in making sure that I'm looking at it in a very pragmatic way. I take a step back, gather the facts before I go into a situation with emotions, and I'm able to deal with it in a better light.
Wonderful. Thank you, Randy, for being a vulnerable and sharing that one, because it takes a courage to share your failure, and lesson learned. Because on growth hacking secrets, we want to know what didn't really work for you, so we don't do the same mistake. That's why it's a straightforward question. So let's switch the side of the table. So let's get on your success secrets. So what are your top 3 success secrets? Promise me you're going to give us your best ones. Okay.
Well, if I had a book, I'd say go buy my book. No. Actually, I don't know if you guys can see this right here over my shoulder. Mamba mentality. RIP Kobe. But I truly believe number 1 is Mamba mentality. And if you don't know what that means, it means you outwork everybody. You have more effort than everybody. You are head and shoulders harder work than everybody else. If you outwork everyone, maybe someone has more experience, maybe somebody has a higher pedigree, maybe someone's got more knowledge. But if you outwork them in studying and providing the value and the effort, you will get to where you want to go. So really having Mamba mentality is number 1. Number 2 is show up. Again, it sounds very simple, but like when people just go through the motions in their day-to-day, you got to show up. You got to be present. You got to be active in meetings. You got to be active with your customers. You got to be active on social media, whatever you're doing. If you just expect people to come to you, and again, it goes back to the passion and genuineness, it's not going to happen. You got to really show up. You got to be there, and you got to make people excited to want to work with you, to be there with you, be able to do business with you. And then lastly, I think the other point is be happy. Again, I know it sounds so simple, but like people, you need to be happy. If you're doing a job that you don't like or you love, you're going to get bored of it. You're going to get sick of it and you're going to burn out and you're not going to do well. For example, if you hate talking to people and you're in sales, you're going to fail because you got to talk to people all day. If you want to be a social media star, but you are shy in front of the camera, you're going to fail. You got to learn to be in front of the camera and be good. Like for me, like hosting a podcast, I love enabling people and making people successful. And that's why I'm such a good podcast host. And also that's why I'm such a good manager, because it's all about the team. So I bring what my best qualities are. We call the special qualities that you don't think are special, but you truly have special qualities that other people don't have. And when you can use those to monetize yourself, that's when you'll be the most successful.
Yeah, you really meant to say discover your hidden abilities, whatever you
Yes.
take it out and then master that one.
Yes, exactly. A great quote I got from someone was like, everyone thinks that what they do is normal, but what your normal is different than what someone else's normal is. So if you can, again, those hidden abilities, whatever you can master that you're good at and monetize it, that's where you'll be key and that's where you'll be happy.
Wonderful. You're welcome to share a one more bonus if you like to. That's it.
Just for my podcast, I think I'll just touch on it for a second. Leap of Fate, you can find us on leapoffatepod.com. Also, we have a YouTube channel, Leap of Fate. Then we have the Apple, Spotify, Leap of Fate as well. And if you type it on Google, you'll find it. Again, the podcast is just around everyday people sharing their stories of overcoming adversity, overcoming challenges in their daily life. It can be around overcoming drug abuse, finding your first job, helping with your resume building, someone who is paralyzed. This week, I had a cancer patient come on and talk about overcoming cancer. Last week, we had someone come on who is a C-level executive talk about how to get the leadership. So I'm trying to bring in people from all walks of life who maybe aren't the rich people or the rich, famous people you see in Hollywood. It's just everyday people who are successful. So in your daily life, you're able to be successful and overcome what adversity that you may experience.
Now you're focusing on not on Fortune 50 companies, you're focusing on unfortunate 5 millions who have unique stories,
Exactly. It's all about, one team, one dream. That would be my slogan. And I really, really try to live by that.
Wonderful. So leapoffatepod.com. If you're just listening, it's being shown on your screen. If you're just walking around and see what that is, you don't understand this accent, that's okay. I'm going to spell it for you. Okay. leapoffatepod.com. Now you have a zero excuse of not checking the website out. Okay. leapoffatepod.com. So, Randy, as we are about to wrap up, I like to ask this question to every guest that get a kind of feedback or testimonial for being a guest experience on the show. Here's my question. What would you say about your today's guest experience on the Growth Hacking Secret Show?
I think this has been fantastic. I want to thank you, Mohammed, for having me on. I think the fact that you do this live across multiple channels to allow people to talk about how they can be successful. It's almost like my podcast where people are sharing tips, tricks, secrets that enable other people's success. So I wanted to come on to make sure that I could share how I've been successful so far in my young life, my young career, to help your audience. And hopefully people take a lot from it today because you're doing some big things here for your people.
Thank you so much for your kind words. Really appreciate it. Randy, what would you say as a final word?
Follow your heart and follow your passion. Don't just walk through life. If you really have something, go make it happen. Don't regret what you didn't do 15 years down the line, and go make it happen.
Follow your heart and follow your passion is a great quote. Thank you so much. My last word would be check this website out, leapoffatepod.com. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Randy Silver, for sharing your wisdom with us today on the behalf of Growth Hacking Secrets community and our entire team. We really appreciate you. This is Mohammed Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. Until the next episode, all good wishes.
Bye, everybody. Have a great day.